the Tax Champion here. I introduced you to Business Intuition recently and how our top clients and multi-millionaires have certain ingredients that make up Business Intuition and help them to grow from a small business way up into a top level entrepreneur. So here's the key things, just for a recap of those things you need for off-the-scale Business Intuition. I want to just go through a story with you around value, number 2. So value is something that you need to fully understand when you're going into business, and along the way you need to understand value as well. Here's a story worth listening to. In the late 90s, as a tiny little tax practice, I had a fella come in and wanted to set up his small business, and the guy was emotionally intelligent, really good with people. He had a lot of the key things ready for his business. He walked in, multi-column spreadsheets of budgets and profit and losses, etc. So financially, he had a really good plan for the business. He had those other ingredients to put together for a growing small business. The thing he was missing in his Business Intuition was understanding value. So the product he had was too much of an everyday product. It had low barriers to entry for people entering that industry, and so the value of it, which he wanted to take up to a really large scale, did not have the inherent return on the money and the effort that this fella was going to put into the business. So off he went into that small business. He started to grow it, and it grew. He could have put a good brand name behind it, and it grew and grew, but it continually demanded cash, demanded effort. He couldn't get out enough from the business himself to live privately. The end result, 15 years' time, the fella got cancer along the way through enormous work stress. His marriage broke down. He did get out of it with a few dollars, and that was a guy who had a lot of the ingredients for small business, but that little piece of Business Intuition that he was missing was understanding the value of his product as it was on its own. Was it making enough cash and profit to grow and turn into something that was of real value? And also, he could not take that to another level to create really good value for someone to buy. Business Intuition, folks, those 5 things you really need to think about. And number 2 there, understanding value, is you've got to understand it. If you can understand your product as it relates to the cash it's going to drive, and imagining that product in a bigger business, and it's creating cash to develop the business and develop your people, think again, go back to the drawing board, because you may have the wrong product. Just an example of where Business Intuition is alive. It's a key, and if you want to grow into the multis, you need it in spades. See you next time.